Okay, guys, thank you for tuning in. My name is Alex Carrizales from stockmusiclicensing.com. Now, in this tutorial, we're going to be mixing our music track. If you haven't been following this series of how to write an acoustic track for music licensing, I recommend you go and check those out. It's a series of individual videos of the whole process from start to finish of how to write an acoustic guitar music track for music licensing. I'm just going to play it for you very quickly so you can see what we're mixing, or to recap what we've done on previous videos. And the very first thing I've done is I have inserted an EQ on the master fader. So this is what we have so far. So what I would like to do here is address certain issues when it comes down to frequencies. And by that I mean that I would like to clear up a little bit if there's anything that I don't really like. And I'm going to show you very quickly how I do this, okay? What I want to accomplish here is just get rid of a little bit of some mud around this frequency area between 400 and 500, that boxiness. And I'm doing this to the master fader. And this is a little trick, or a tip as well, I should say, that I learned from my good friend and mentor, Graham Cochran from the Recorded Revolution. If you're not familiarized with his channel, I highly recommend that you check it out. So I'm going to be compressing now the whole mix as a whole, and pretty much I just want to glue all these instruments and see how it sounds, okay? So here we go. It's not a lot. I don't want a lot of gain reduction here. I just want to glue the whole mix as a whole. And I particularly like this this compressor, if you will. So I'm looking for something to add a little bit of warmth here. I want a little bit of character. I want a little bit of analog, if you will, kind of feeling. I want to take this off as well. All of this off. So it's just a little bit of dirt, I guess, if you will, or a little bit of a more warmth to the actual track as a whole. And you do this to taste, obviously. So, but this is what it will sound like. So let's have a go. these are very subtle movements. You probably cannot tell unless you're wearing some headphones with this particular track, and be very specific of the frequencies that obviously I've been affecting the whole mix as a whole, but I'm just creating a little bit, I'm adding a little bit of distortion just to really warm it up a little bit. You can probably hear it more when on the snare, if you will, this kind of treatment. Very, very, very subtle. So I'm going to bypass all of the effects in the master bus. Very, very subtle, okay? Now, what I would like to do is treat this particular guitar part, the melody, and I would like to bring that up a little bit in terms of what frequencies are there. Needs a little bit of more brightness, if you will. Nothing major here, just a little bit of brightness. Let's go here again for this one. Not a lot of gain reduction when it comes to compressors. I like to run my actual instruments through the compressor. So let's go back to this section actually. And I'm really happy with the snare. And notice that at this point I'm mixing as I am listening to the actual different instrument. All of them are played together. I highly recommend that you mix like this and try to avoid soloing or mixing in solo. I'm gonna check the kick now, and then pretty much I will actually check the whole drums as a whole and the bass as well. So let's do this. Very subtle, the bass, the kick, very subtle. I'll probably bring it up a little bit. I'm just looking for a little bit of mud in that bass just to clean it up a little bit, but not a lot. It's a very subtle bass, anyways. But I only solo when I'm actually doing this kind of surgical searches, if you will. I mean, just searching for something that it shouldn't be there, or at least minimize a little bit of the dirt and see where does this frequency could be minimized. There's not much attack in the strings or the picking. It's being played with the actual fingers, so there's not much attack. So I can't really find much upper harmonics around this area. The bass is very bassy. It's very dark bass sound, and the actual kick is really sharp and it's very toppy. But you want to make sure that you have to make a decision of which one is going to be the one that is going to be dominating a certain frequency in that low end. So here's a perfect example of that. And here's everything else, or all my drums. On, I really don't do anything else. I don't. My drums are really organic, if you will. Add a little bit of reverb to the snare at this point. Start thinking about just something very subtle, if you will. Nothing really major here. So let's see. At the same time, I started to think as well of treating the same with the same reverb, the acoustic guitars. Very subtle again, both of them. the main arpeggiated guitar. So just to give it a little bit of more atmosphere. And definitely the melody. I would like to experiment with a larger kind of reverb actually. And let's see how this sounds. And this one will play around here actually. At this point, I feel like that piano part still is really buried. So what I would like to do here, and do a little bit of automation. Just on that piano part. Actually here I want it to be a little bit more pronounced towards the end. A little bit too much. Let me see if I can bring it down just a little bit. And maybe on this part where the drums stop, maybe I can bring that up as well here. Let's see. The actual piano part a little bit higher. I think that's a sweet spot right there. So I'm done with that automation part right there. This particular track is ready. I won't do anything else to this particular track. Very, very subtle. I don't even need to compress the bass. The bass was played by me, and it had a very subtle compressor going all the way in. And it's pretty steady. I don't think I need to do anything to it. You can double check this by doing this, for example, and just listen to it in solo. And I will just double check with the kick drum for sure, and the other elements as well. It's a pretty steady bass. From here, I can easily create a drum and bass stem or version of this particular track as well. And I feel happy about it. I feel confident that the bass in the drum section is a really solid one. So that's it for this particular track. I'm going to be bouncing this mix. And in the next video, we're going to be mastering this track so we can upload it to Pond 5 as an example, as a real life example of the start to finish composition, arrangement, mixing and mastering, and then upload process to a royalty-free library and go through the whole process of being reviewed, accepted, and getting some sales with this track. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I have as well a free EQ cheat sheet for you to download. Link in the description. And it's a cheat sheet where I actually go through different instruments and different frequencies that you should be focusing on, and how to boost and cut certain frequencies within the instruments. And just feel free to grab that for you if you're somebody that is starting out in this journey and feel overwhelmed by the mixing process of mixing your own music track. So thanks a lot again for all the love and support. And as always, rock and roll, and here's to your success.